October 2023. Blackstone announces they're investing $2 billion per year in India. December, Brookfield commits $10 billion. January 2024. 3 more global funds declare their entry into the market.
What are these global giants seeing that others might be missing? Why has India suddenly become the hottest real estate destination in the world? The numbers are staggering, but they're only part of the story. This isn't just about buildings and investments. It's about a transformation so massive, it's reshaping the global economic order. For the first time, you're about to see exactly how the world's biggest players are positioning themselves for what might be the greatest real estate opportunity of the 21st century. India is rising swiftly, solidifying its position as one of the world's fastest-growing economies, and a booming real estate market sits right at the heart of its expansion. Despite global turbulence, India's economy is set to grow by 7% in the 2025 fiscal year, holding its spot as the world's fastest-growing major economy. This isn't just an impressive number, it's a sign of a nation gearing up for the future.
I do believe that we have really not been able to take the opportunity of growth in the last 65 years. And we are now trying to do that catch up, which is there. And that is why you see the growth of GDP going 7%, which is the highest growth in the world. The growth in terms of real estate is growing more than 12% per year, compounded. And my gut feel is that it will go anything between 15 to 17% in the next couple of years.
Every morning, a workforce larger than the entire population of many countries heads to work in India's mega cities. But here's what makes this story different. This is the youngest workforce of any major economy. A big part of the story is India's young and dynamic population. By 2030, 1 out of every 5 working-age people on the planet will be Indian. And with 68% of the population aged 15 to 64, this youthful workforce is stepping into a new era of productivity, consumption, and demand. 2014 marked a turning point. As the world watched, India launched an ambitious series of reforms that would transform its real estate landscape forever. 2014, Make in India launches, triggering a manufacturing boom. REIT regulations unlock billions in property investments. 2016, RERA brings unprecedented transparency to real estate. 2017, GST simplifies taxation across 28 states. 2019, National Infrastructure Pipeline charts a $1.4 trillion vision. But these weren't just policies on paper. Watch what happened next.
How do we perceive India? Today, it's a 3.3 circa trillion dollar country.
Mm-hmm.
From here, where is it going? Given the fundamentals of the country, there's nothing which works against us. See, there was, like, in terms of population, talent pool, cost effectiveness, the business environment, presence of local players. I think these are some factors which really work in favor of India.
Thanks to its strategic location and investor-friendly environment, India has become a focal point in Asia's investment landscape. Now the third highest-ranked destination for foreign investment after China and Singapore, India is drawing massive global interest. From 2023 to 2024, India hit record levels of FDI from Singapore. Trade with the Gulf is booming, and a $100 billion trade deal with Europe speaks volumes, as Germany sees India as a vital partner to reduce reliance on China.
We are in a good place. I mean, obviously, we can keep talking about how the macro on the world is, but India is in a very good place right now from a macro perspective. Overall, capital flows into this country are very, very strong. And maybe we are an emerging alternative to very, very large markets now. And our economy size is about close to 4 trillion. We will be shortly $5 trillion. At $5 trillion, the country becomes an asset class. You cannot ignore it.
As India's economy grows, so does its real estate sector. Right now, valued at $493 billion, real estate is a major creator of jobs, second only to agriculture. With an annual growth rate projected at 9.2% from 2023 to 2028, This sector is becoming a magnet for both top institutions and private equity, and the big names are all in. Blackstone plans to invest $2 billion every year, and Brookfield has pledged $10 billion over the next few years. These investments are pouring into real estate, infrastructure, and energy, and it's just the beginning.
It's now far more simple to come into India. There are single window clearances, at least as far as real estate is concerned. India is very welcoming of foreign capital because they're aware that to grow, we not only need domestic capital, but we also require large foreign capital. And infrastructure and real estate perhaps are the core industries that we want growth in. So whether you are a debt investor or an equity investor, please look at India with a new lens, not the lens that you saw it in maybe 10 years ago or 12 years ago, because things are changing and things are improving for the better.
India's commercial real estate market alone, worth more than $40 billion today, is expected to hit over $106 billion by 2029. The commercial debt market is on track to expand by 40% over the next 3 years, bringing a financing opportunity of up to $170 billion.
Office is actually a bad word globally because nobody's getting back to the offices. And, if you look at more mature markets, particularly the Western world, there, it is difficult to get people 5 days a week back in the office. Yet in India, this year will be the best ever in the history of India ever that we would have had the leasing. 72 million square feet of gross leasing.
But it's not just about the buildings, it's about the brains behind them. India is considered to be the global capability center capital of the world. With over 1,700 GCCs, India is now the base for finance, tech, and business services for multinational giants, employing nearly 2 million people. By 2030, this sector is set to grow to 2,400 centers, creating jobs for up to 2.8 million people and driving export revenues past $100 billion. India's residential market is on a strong upward trend too. Currently worth more than $227 billion, the sector is expected to reach over $687 billion by 2029. And it's not hard to see why, with major metro areas seeing property prices surge by as much as 90% in recent years, as both young professionals and families seek homes to call their own, from affordable to luxury housing developments. Industrial, warehousing, and logistics are also booming, with logistics space absorption hitting 27.5 million square feet in early 2024 alone. This sector is on track to hit a valuation of $150 billion by the 2028 fiscal year, keeping pace with the nation's growing e-commerce and manufacturing sectors.
And I always compare warehousing as where office was maybe in 2005 or 2006, right? And we've now had the benefit of looking at the last, 15 or 20 years of cycle play out on office, where we have seen office grow as a market, where we've now looked at about 700 to 800 million square feet of institutional office stock being developed, traded, and then ultimately a lot of that has ended up in the 3 listed REITs which we have. I think warehousing is seeing a similar journey and a similar trajectory, except that it's probably going to be in half the time or even faster.
And the data center market is seeing an explosion in growth. Investments are expected to more than double from the $4.35 billion seen in 2021 to over $10 billion by 2027, driven by demand for the country's digital economy goals and the arrival of tech giants. In total, India's real estate sector is projected to reach $10 trillion by 2047, with the SM rates market alone possibly exceeding $60 billion by 2026. As global funds seek exposure to India, the long-term potential of this market is clear.
So whoever has taken the bet on India in long term, I think has benefited, in my mind. So people who want to put in capital into India and have a serious strategy around it should get, consistent returns over a longer time.
But what does it mean to truly connect global capital with India's expanding opportunities? In 2024, GRI Club took India's story to the world with the India Roadshow, holding special sessions from New York to London and Paris, where global leaders and investors explored India's unmatched potential. But the story didn't end there. GRI Club also brought these conversations home, hosting impactful gatherings across India all year long. with forums covering everything from data centers and office spaces to residential projects, along with in-depth discussions on investment strategies and funding opportunities, targeting the country's most promising asset classes and financing avenues.
I'm actually very happy and very excited to be here today because it is not how I thought it will be. You know, the way the people are interacting, the openness in the discussions. People are very candid. The setting is putting you to ease. There's no pressure of standing on a stage, dais, flipping through PowerPoints, you know, so on and so forth. So I think the whole environment is very good, where you can actually speak your point and listen to other perspective as well. Also, I realized that the kind of people that you have here, you know, I think you have the cream de la cream of the industry present in this hall today. So, which makes a huge difference. I think the voices that we are hearing, the opinions, the perspectives, the strategy, the planning that we are hearing, it is coming from horse's mouth, you know, and I think that makes, in my view, it makes the event a lot more credible and I'm hoping a lot more successful.
On top of all that, GRI Club India launched the Women's Real Estate Advisory Board and Committee, bringing together inspiring female leaders to redefine women's roles in the industry and champion a future of true inclusion and equality. And this is still only the beginning.
But if you can take this opportunity and use this global reach to communicate to the wider what's going on in India,
in 2025, GRI Club will deepen its commitment to India's growth, building even stronger bridges between global capital and India's thriving real estate market. This journey is far from over. Are you ready to be part of India's story?